All right. We're gonna make chicken Alfredo tonight. Oh, Lordy. Okay. So, in essence of time saving, I went ahead and browned my chicken. So you can see this is like a little bit more than 1.5 packages of chicken tenders. I just cut them into like strips and just browned them with a tiny little bit of olive oil and butter. So they, am I frozen? No, okay, good. I was frozen there for a second. That was kind of weird. All right, so we're gonna need some little measuring thingies here. Teaspoon, tablespoon, where's my tablespoon? There it is. Okay, so this one is really easy recipe. Okay, so what you're gonna do after you cook your chicken, oh, and I gotta get my, oh, the water's gone way down again. Let me find my noodles. Hold on, I gotta get my noodles going. All right, so I just make spaghetti noodles with it. Okay. Just put them in. Oh, let me show you this little trick. All right, so you put your noodles in, spread them out like this, like kind of twist them around. Okay. And then it makes it a lot easier to get them down in the water when it starts boiling. Okay, little trick, weird trick, but it works. And I use my little tongs to push them down once it starts boiling pretty well. I'll just kind of push it down. See how much easier it is by having it spread out like that? Best trick ever. Okay, so we'll let that get started. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, so I've told y'all I'm not good about measuring, but I'm gonna tell you what you need to put in. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil. For me, that's just run it around the bowl. Okay, and then 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so, good amount. I'll probably just put it all in. Because remember, I always do double. Okay. Then you're gonna need like a tablespoon of garlic. It's a lot. I like to use the little garlic that's already cut up, because who has time to smash garlic cloves? Not me. And then you need a wooden spoon. So you just want to kind of get the garlic kind of going in the butter like this. So I think it's like 2 cloves of garlic, but I just put enough in so that I can see, okay, it's gonna be pretty good garlicky. Let me see it. Come a little closer. Let me get that timer on. Now look how nice that spaghetti went down in there. Can you see that? Isn't that a cool trick? We are making chicken Alfredo. And if my nephew and my children get back on time, it'll have sun-dried tomatoes in it. If not, it'll just be chicken Alfredo. So the variation on this is you can put in sun-dried tomatoes. Okay, let me get the oven going again. All right. We're going to let that kind of cook a minute. Okay. Get all my little spices over here. This is 2 cups of chicken stock, but you only need 1. Remember, everything in my house is doubled. Okay. Alright. So what you want is to let the garlic kind of cook down and glaze a little. Like this. Just like that. Just for a couple minutes until they get kind of golden brown. And you should be able to smell it. You don't want to cook it so hot that your butter burns, for sure. But we'll let that cook for like a minute or so, and I'll tell you what's in it. So what's in it is a cup of chicken stock, a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, a cup of heavy cream, and then like a teaspoon of, well actually a half a teaspoon of oregano, thyme. I like to just put in like this little herb garden, a little Italian seasoning, some oregano. I just put a little bit, just a little. So when I say a little, I mean like just a little, like that. So like half a teaspoon. There. Alright, let's turn this down. We don't want it to be too hot. Just want some Italian seasonings in it. That's all. And then I'll put a little bit of the pink Himalayan salt with the black pepper. Once I feel like this is nice and brown, I'm going to put my chicken stock in. So that's going to keep it from burning. And then we're going to kind of let that fuse together for a minute. I'm going to grab my bread, so hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm going to turn that down a little. I want those to kind of cook together. This is the kind of bread we like. The little garlic strips. What are they called? Sticks. Bread sticks. Alright. So all I'm going to do is put this in the oven. This only needs about 5 minutes, these breadsticks, but we're going to do quite a few. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. There we go. You can see why I get them in this big box. All right, here we go. Just gonna put these in the oven and then we're gonna finish the sauce. Okay, so it's kind of had a minute to kind of... that was Mercedes messaging me. Okay. So we've got that. It's simmering. It smells good. Let's kind of mix up our spaghetti a little. Just make sure it doesn't stick together. Alright. Okay, now you want to put your... So we're going to put a cup, but you only need a half a cup. Well, I'm going to put a generous cup. Okay. I like the thin shredded. It's really good if you shred it yourself, but I don't always have time to do that. So you want to kind of mix it around and let it start melting. Okay. Now this Alfredo is going to be a little different probably than what you've seen before, because this one uses chicken stock, and so it doesn't come out that like white color. We want to put 2 cups of this in. This is the heavy cream. There we go. Now it'll probably start looking a little bit more like Alfredo. Let's get our heat back up here. Then you just want to mix it around, and that cheese will melt. It'll melt up real nice. Alright. So you can see all the little bits of the seasoning in there. So you want to get this kind of boiling pretty well, and then you're going to reduce it down. So with Alfredo, you want to be careful not to overcook it and not to cook it too long, because it will come out, it'll burn quick. And at the last little bit, right before I take it off, I'll put just a little bit of red pepper flakes. It kind of really gives it a nice little taste. Okay, so I'll tell you something about, I used to do that all the time with the wooden spoon, but for some reason, with that particular pot, if you do that, it actually will make it boil over. It's because it has copper in it or something. But all I do is reduce the heat down a little, and then it won't come out. But yeah, I used to do that all the time. So if you have, it is chicken Alfredo. If you have just a regular pot, absolutely put the wooden spoon across it. But if your pot has copper in it, don't do it, because it'll make it burn. I mean, overflow. See how pretty that is? You just want to keep kind of stirring it. You don't want it to burn. Okay. See, isn't that pretty? Look at that. See how it's starting to bubble up now? You see how the cheese is pretty much melted in there? Yeah. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then if you want to put red pepper in, all you do is take sun-dried red peppers, sun-dried tomatoes, and you just slice them up, and you put them in here, and you know, I read your thing. You just let it sit in there for a minute or so, like cooking with it, and it gives it such a good flavor. So that's what it's looking like now. See how everything in here is melted? So once it's in there, it's combined well, everything is melted. I turn it heat way down, because with Alfredo, you can burn it pretty easily. So, okay, and then I'll bring my chicken back over, start putting the chicken in. Just like that. Okay. We're just going to put the chicken down in. So we want to kind of reheat the chicken because I set it aside. But this is super easy, and it's really yummy. Super yummy. Okay, so our noodles are done. And probably our bread. Let's look at our bread. Bread looks pretty. Look. Look how pretty that bread looks. Can you see? Okay. Look around a second. Yes, I hear you. I hear you, timer. I hear you. Okay, so I'm going to heat it back up just a little bit just to get the chicken done. Oh, you're lactose intolerant? Yeah, so you can use any kind of substitute for the cream that works for your lactose. There are different things that work. I'm kind of lactose intolerant too, but as long as I don't eat too much, it does okay with me. But yeah, you do want to be careful what you put in it. You can put milk instead of cream. And then of course, if you had some type of lactate, yeah. I am allergic to eggs, and I do have trouble with milk products. But as long as I don't have it very often, I do okay. But the family really likes it. Okay. Now, y'all know I have a tendency to knock everything over. It's starting to cook back up. Let me get the bread out before it burns, because it will in a hurry. Look how pretty that looks. Oh, that looks so pretty. All right, now the last step is just gonna be, yeah, there you go. So you could just substitute one of those for the heavy cream. Just watch it carefully, because you don't know how quickly things like that will burn. The trick is to just be like super cautious with how hot it is, and then that usually takes care of it. But you can keep it on the lower heat for a while, but you don't want it to be really bubbling and boiling, because then it'll make the cheese and the milk kind of turn burnt, and then it won't taste good. Okay. Oh yeah, there's always alternatives. Always, always. So now that I've gotten everything in it, all I'll do is put just a tiny little bit of red pepper flakes, just to give it a little bit of spice. I can turn off my oven. My spaghetti is done. So I'm just kind of, if you rinse your noodles with water, make sure the water's hot, or the starch in it will get real sticky. If your noodles are real sticky, rinse them with hot water. Make sure the water's hot. Yeah, it could be. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not exactly the same. So when Carson was born, he was allergic to, oh my gosh, everything. Dairy, he was allergic to wheat, he was allergic to corn, peanuts, all kinds of stuff. I use nutritional yeast a lot to substitute for cheese. So you might want to try some dishes with that, because that stuff works really well, and it does taste quite a bit like cheese. So I would try some of that. See if you can find some of that. Have you ever tried the nutritional yeast? Okay, so red pepper flakes. Just gonna put some in, give it some pretty color. And that's it. That's as complicated as it gets. Ha! Yeah. Oh, we're gonna make a wreath tomorrow. And since my nephew is home, I think we're gonna do it down here in the kitchen, at the kitchen table. So You just avoid everything. So nutritional yeast is not, it doesn't have cheese at all. It just has a cheese flavor. So I would look it up because it's actually really good and there's nothing in it that's going to make you feel bad. It was a suggestion by his doctor because I was, of course, his source of food, and I was craving chicken, cheese, and all I got to eat was chicken and rice. And chicken and rice, I thought I was going to go crazy because I couldn't have noodles. I couldn't have much of anything. So he told me about nutritional yeast, and it does really taste a lot like cheese. So I'd look it up and see if, you know, give it a try because it does taste pretty good. A lot of people who eat vegan, they eat it. So I would just look it up and see what it says, and always be careful with your allergies. But yeah, so that's what he told me about, and it did help me kind of get through that first year, because that first year was rough. No sleep, he had colic, he was allergic to everything. Oh my gosh, y'all, this thing keeps falling out. Oh gosh, there. Yeah. All right. So I hope y'all liked that. Yeah. Yeah, Mom has that same stuff. She has diverticulitis. She has, oh, why can't I think of the name of it? GERD, and she has a Barrett's esophagus. So, yeah, she has a hard time. I certainly feel for you. All right, y'all have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be doing an Easter wreath, and I think that's going to be lots of fun. I'm so excited. I'm going to go over to Hobby Lobby. I have already all of the ribbons and stuff, but I just want to see if there's something new. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, she's on lots of medicine for that, so I totally get it. All right, y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right.